Here's the thing. Everyone talks about New York this, LA that, or have you even lived if you haven't had brunch in Brooklyn? And hey, love those places. Big lights, big noise, big rent. But what if I told you there are towns across the US that they make the big cities look like they're trying too hard? Welcome to the real hidden gems. Towns where the barista knows your name and your dog's. So today we're hitting 20 of the most enchanting small towns in the USA. No tourist traps, no chain restaurants. All right, tanks full, playlist ready. Let's take the long way around America and maybe even find your next hometown. Number 1, Bisby, Arizona. Tucked away in the Mule Mountains of southern Arizona, just a few miles from the Mexican border, is a town that looks like it was built by dreamers. This is Bisby, a place that once fueled America's copper boom and now fuels the imagination of every traveler who finds it. Bisby doesn't announce itself with flashy signs, and you most definitely don't arrive here. You stumble upon it. Originally founded in the late 1800s as a mining camp, Bisby exploded into a full-blown boom town almost overnight. At one point, it was one of the richest cities between St. Louis and San Francisco. But then the mining dried up. However, instead of becoming another ghost town, artists moved in. Here you can spend the morning exploring the old mine tunnels or in the afternoon reading tarot in a backyard garden strung with prayer flags. Even the hotels here have a personality. The Copper Queen Hotel is said to be haunted, but even the ghosts here are friendly. Whether you believe in spirits or not, it's hard not to feel something here, a kind of presence. Like the walls, remember everyone who's passed through. Breakfast is an art form in Bisby. Locals will send you to the Bisby Breakfast Club, where the pancakes are the size of your face. But food here isn't just about filling up. It's about slowing down, lingering, talking to strangers, hearing a story or two before you even finish your eggs. Sure, Bisby isn't for everyone, but it doesn't try to be. Number 2, Port Townsend, Washington. Port Townsend, Washington is a town that almost seems like a secret you weren't supposed to find out. Once a bustling seaport built on timber and trade, Port Townsend was meant to be the next San Francisco. Big dreams, big ships, big ambitions. But the town was left unfinished. A beautiful beginning without an ending. And that, strangely, is what saved it. With no industry to bulldoze the past, Port Townsend remained almost perfectly preserved. A century-old time capsule. Today it's frozen in time. This isn't the kind of town where things happen to you, it's the kind of town that happens with you. Here you read more than you scroll. You notice things. The way the barista remembers your name on day 2. Art thrives here. You'll find painters selling work from their garages. And musicians who sound like they've lived 5 lives before this one. The sea shaped this place, salted its bones. You'll hear it in the stories and the songs and the way people always know what the tide's doing before they check the weather. Port Townsend isn't here to impress you, but if you listen, if you stay long enough, it might just rearrange something in you. Number 3, Marfa, Texas. Marfa is weird in the best possible way. At first glance, it looks like the kind of town you'd pass through on the way to somewhere else. But then, something strange happens. Marfa is just slow. It's like someone pressed pause on the world and forgot to hit play again. And nobody here seems in a rush to remind them. In the 1970s, New York artist Donald Judd moved here to get away from the noise and ended up turning Marfa into a global hub for modern art. And then there's the mystery. The Marfa lights. Nobody can explain them, they just shimmer in the sky. Locals shrug, scientists debate. You just stand there open-mouthed and wonder if maybe some things aren't meant to be figured out. The food here is unironically amazing. Fancy pants chefs come here to find themselves, and in return you get duck confit tacos, avocado gelato, and coffee so good it might have just saved your life. The only catch here is that Marfa isn't for everyone, and maybe that's the point. If you show up open-minded or even just a little lost, Marfa might give you exactly what you didn't know you needed. Number 4, Hudson, New York. Welcome to Hudson, not the river, the town. Hudson is one of those towns where every building looks like it has a story. Most of them do. There's a hotel that used to be a brothel, a coffee shop that used to be a bank, and a vintage store that used to be, honestly, probably another vintage store. Farm to table is a lifestyle here. Everyone's really into where their greens came from. The art here is just as alive. At night, Hudson turns moody, but in a good way. It's all candlelight and deep conversations about the books you've read. Hudson is for people who love ideas, those who want their weekends a little quieter, their bread a little fresher, and their conversations just a little more interesting. It's equal parts old soul and new cool. And if you stay long enough, it might just convince you that you really can start over. Number 5. Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Next up, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. It's a town built entirely on a hill. Not metaphorically, literally. The GPS? Well, it's useless here. Just accept that you're going to get lost and that you'll probably enjoy it. Eureka was founded on water, healing springs bubbling up from the earth. In the late 1800s, people came here to get cured. Now they come to get weird. There's something theatrical about this town, like the whole place is dressed up for Halloween year-round and nobody bothered to break character. Somehow it works. Maybe because everyone here is in on the joke. Number 6. Taos, New Mexico. This place has layers. You've got Native American heritage stretching back a millennium, Spanish colonial history, and a pipeline of artists who showed up sometime around 1920 and never stopped coming. The town's small, but its energy is vast. Painters, potters, poets, they're all drawn to this high desert like moths to a flame, and then there's the weird. Taos is home to one of the largest off-the-grid communities in the world. Want to live in a house made of recycled trash? This is your place. Taos has been through things: colonization, revolts, reinventions, and you feel it under your feet. Like the land remembers. Some places are built for vacation. Taos is built for awakening. That sounds dramatic until you spend a few days here and start asking yourself big questions, like, what am I doing with my life? Taos doesn't try to impress you, it just is. Sacred, surreal, slightly sunburned. And if you're lucky, it might shift something in you too. Number 7. Yellow Springs, Ohio. It's been called Ohio's hippie town, but that's like calling New York a bit busy. Yellow Springs is a lifestyle, a town where everyone recycles and nobody's in a bad mood. Yellow Springs has always attracted the thinkers, the misfits, the ones who like their freedom with the side of farm to table. It's home to Antioch College, a famously progressive institution where activism and weirdness are practically graduation requirements. But don't confuse laid back with low energy. The town is electric in its own strange way, alive with creativity, independent businesses, and more local art than most major cities. When people need to recharge, creatively, spiritually, emotionally, they come here. To hike, to think, to write the novel they've been carrying around since 2016, or to just sit in the grass and remember what being human feels like. Number 8. Nevada City, California. Nevada City, California. Tucked in the Sierra Nevada foothills. It started as a mining town. Now, it's where former tech workers go to unplug. Downtown feels like a movie set, if the movie were directed by Wes Anderson and produced by Etsy. Wooden balconies, hand-painted signs, that sort of thing. But don't let the quaintness fool you. Nevada City is fiercely independent. It's a town that thrives on people doing their own thing. Whether that's building tiny homes or starting eco-festivals that draw thousands, locals call it the magic of the Yuba. Hike 20 minutes and you'll find yourself in a hidden paradise. Bring snacks, bring water. Bring someone you don't mind falling in love with. The nature here just has its way. And then there's the community. People show up for each other, for the farmers market on Saturdays. Come curious, leave barefoot, probably holding a handmade candle and a new outlook on life. Number 9. Floyd, Virginia. Floyd isn't a place you find on your way to somewhere else, you have to mean it. Floyd is where tradition is alive, not dusty. But don't get the wrong idea, Floyd isn't stuck in the past. Artists, homesteaders, permaculturists, poets, they all find their way here. People who wanted to be off the grid before it was cool, now they've built a grid of their own. There's something about Floyd that makes you want to slow down and pay attention. To the land, to the stories, the way the light moves through the trees. This is the kind of town where everyone waves even if they've never seen you before. Not because they're trying to be friendly, because they are. It's not trying to impress you, it's just being exactly what it is. And if that's what you've been looking for, welcome. Number 10. Trinidad, Colorado. Trinidad has been a coal town, a railroad hub, a center for counterculture, and the sex change capital of the world for decades. Yeah, Trinidad has layers. Trinidad sits on the edge of everything. The edge of the mountains, the edge of New Mexico, the edge of the expected. One foot in the past, the other somewhere, kind of exciting. In the last few years, Trinidad's become a magnet for artists, creatives, and big-hearted weirdos. People came here looking for space and stayed because something about it just clicked. You don't move to Trinidad for clout, you move here for a $400 mortgage and a chance to build something nobody's built yet. When it comes to the views, you get high desert, pine forests, and snow-capped peaks, all without having to elbow through tourists. Trinidad is what happens when a town decides not to fade quietly. It pivots, it adapts, and somehow it holds on to its soul in the process. Number 11. Natchez, Louisiana. Is the name hard to pronounce? Yes. Is it Louisiana's oldest town? Also yes, but that doesn't mean it's boring. In fact, Natchez wears its history like its favorite old sweater. You'll find brick streets, Creole cottages, and front porches that have probably seen generations fall in love. You walk through Natchez and time kind of loosens its grip. Lunch turns into sweet tea on a porch swing. Dinner turns into dancing under lights by the river. It's a place where the air smells like magnolia and meat pies, where people wave from their cars just because you looked like you needed it. And the best part? Nobody's rushing. Not you, not the town, not the river. Number 12. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Yes, that is its real name. No, we're not making this up. Originally called Hot Springs, very literal, very honest, the town renamed itself in 1950 after a radio game show dared someone to. Truth or Consequences took the bait. The show came, and the name stuck. But beyond the novelty of the name, this place has soul. It's not fancy, it's not trying to be. There's art everywhere. Murals, mosaic sidewalks, metal sculptures. And the people? Half locals, half wanderers who came to detox and decided to never leave. Come for the name. Stay for the hot springs, the healing, the weirdness, and maybe, just maybe, a little truth of your own. Number 13. Astoria, Oregon. This is the oldest American settlement west of the Rockies. Cobblestone sidewalks, haunted saloons, and maritime museums with exactly the grit you'd hope for. It's the kind of town where you drink beer in a fish cannery and then go antiquing for a ship's wheel you absolutely do not need. But you buy it anyway, because Astoria. Astoria has a wild, creative soul. Artists, writers, they all find a home here. The air smells like salt, old timber, and just a hint of mischief. The food here's amazing, everything's local, everything's fresh, and if you don't like seafood, someone will kindly ask you to rethink your life choices. Astoria isn't trying to be discovered, it's already found, by people who don't mind the rain, love a good ghost story, and still believe the best adventures start with a map you made yourself. Number 14. Paia Hawaii. This tiny town on Maui's North Shore has mastered the art of not taking itself too seriously, while also being seriously unforgettable. Once a sleepy sugarcane plantation town, Paia somehow dodged the full resort transformation. Instead, it became something rarer, a small sun-kissed paradise where surfers, artists, and wanderers live together. You'll meet people who came for a week 5 years ago, people who started out as waiters and are now underwater photographers. Mana Foods is the heartbeat of Paia, a grocery store, a town square, spiritual nexus. Come for groceries, stay for the life advice from the guy ringing you up. Paia is the kind of place where you lose track of time. Not by accident, by design. Schedules dissolve, shoes vanish. Is it touristy? A little. But somehow it dodges the tourist trap. Maybe it's the energy. Locals call it mana, that unnameable magic that makes people open up and slow down. Paia's messy, humid, and allergic to anything remotely corporate. Come here if you want to get lost and maybe not totally find your way back. Number 15. Decora, Iowa. At first glance, Decora looks like your typical Midwestern small town. Brick buildings, friendly hellos, and a main street that hasn't changed much in decades. But give it a weekend, and Decora starts to show off. The town has deep Scandinavian roots, thanks to Norwegian immigrants who settled here in the 1800s. And they didn't just bring waffles. There's even a college here, Luther College, which means you'll find concerts, poetry readings, and students studying in coffee shops. Speaking of coffee shops, and breweries, and farmers markets, Decora is quietly having a moment. Places like Toppling Goliath put it on the craft beer map, and locals take their food very seriously without taking themselves too seriously. You can fish, hike, bike, paddle, or just sit with your feet in the river and feel the world slow down. Decora is the kind of place that restores your faith in community and quiet, and the idea that maybe the good life isn't somewhere far away. 16. Ithaca, New York. This place calls itself Ithaca is gorgeous, and with good reason. Step beyond the town and you'll find 150-plus waterfalls hidden in forest canyons just itching to be discovered. Ithaca mixes Ivy League smarts with wilderness grit. Cornell and Ithaca College bring coffee-slinging intellectuals and farmers markets, indie bookstores, and politics-on-fire debates. Here, the local business is vast. From craft cheese to rooftop brewing to music venues where you can hear everything. There's always something happening. And then, waterfalls, outdoor music festivals, wild swimming under a rainbow. You don't come to Ithaca to check boxes, you come to feel it. Ithaca isn't perfect, it rains, the winters freeze, but this town, it always follows up with a sunrise over the gorge that tells you exactly why you stayed. Number 17, Guffy, Colorado. Guffy, Colorado, a town you've probably not heard of. After all, it's only got 29 people living in it. Yep, you read that right. Welcome to the self-proclaimed weirdest town in Colorado. Guffy proves you don't need neon to make a place unforgettable, just grit, strange stories, and maybe a roadside UFO. What Guffy lacks in population, it makes up for in heart. Seasonal diners serve enormous breakfast to miners, weekenders, and drifters alike. No Wi-Fi? Probably. Killer pie? Definitely. Guffy is proud of its isolation. You come here because you're craving off-grid quiet and leave with a sense that small-scale community is a real thing. That one coffee shop can serve as your town square, that you can breathe. Number 18, Lindborg, Kansas. Lindborg, Kansas, or as they call it, Little Sweden. Every building is painted bright colors. Swedish flags everywhere. People dance traditional folk dances in town squares. It's like your heart has secretly always wanted to wear reindeer sweaters. Here, galleries show modern art, farm-to-table cafes serve pickled herring alongside quinoa bowls. Lindborg embraces heritage and innovation. Midsummer celebrations, Christmas festivals, folk concerts, glass-blowing demonstrations. You'll find almost everything here under flat Kansas skies. Lindborg is delightfully deliberate. Come find out for yourself. Number 19, Mount Shashta, California. This isn't just a town. People chase Mount Shashta, claiming it changed their lives. Mount Shashta blends New Age otherworldliness with mountain adventure. You can hike to icy lakes by day and at night, home to stargazers and poets who toast incense instead of beers. Outdoor lovers come for volcano views and trails, seekers come for psychic readings, and talismans rumored to come alive. As a result, you get a town where you might see a meditating monk next to an orienteering runner and nobody bats an eye. Mount Shashta is a mountain-sized reminder that the unexplained might be closer than we think. Number 20. Joseph, Oregon. Last but not the least, Joseph. It started as a ranching outpost. One day someone said, "Let's add art." And then everyone agreed. Sculptors, painters, carvers, they came and they stayed. You'll wander down Main Street and wonder if you're on the set of a Western. Then you'll realize the art pieces are part of the townscape. Joseph smells like fresh-cut wood, enamel paint, and smoke in a good way. Joseph is a place inspired by place. If you need space for ideas to breathe or wonder what happens when community and creativity collide, Joseph waits quietly with open hands. 20 towns? Some you've heard of, most you haven't. These are tourist traps. They're the places people run to when they're done performing, where the pace is slower, where the coffee is usually better than it has any right to be. We didn't make this list to tell you where to go. We made it to remind you that wonder doesn't need a passport. It might just need a turn off the highway, a tank of gas, and the courage to be curious again.